Hey there, crew, it's Mark from MENWHOBULLET. Thanks for coming to hang out today for a real quick weekly plan with me. I still like to keep these up and creating cool things inside of my bullet journal. We'll be doing the broader plan with me's, including the yearly task planner like we did in the very beginning of the year, talking about what's working, what's not working with this entire system. I'm working on a 2-week system inside of here and kind of trying to accomplish things in that. So next week, we'll be filling in the next 2 weeks, reflecting on how everything's been working inside of both of these together. But this week, what I thought we would do is just go ahead and have some fun inside of this bullet journal. Now, this past week went pretty well. I am going to tell you that I didn't use as much space as I thought that I was going to. I'm not necessarily mad at it. I like the fact that I'm not using 7 pages inside of my bullet journal like I was before, but I didn't use as much of the space. But I still really like these weekly overviews, so I thought that we would continue along with them today, have some fun inside of here because I just got some cool stuff and I want to get it inside of my bullet journal. What we'll be doing today is setting up this weekly overview page. I'll have 6 days during the week across here. I don't always do weekends, but I'm finding that the girls are getting very busy on the weekends now with a lot of their fall activities or winter activities. So we're going to go ahead and just do a full week here. I'll use the top third of the page for that. I'm also going to be doing some fun lettering. I just got this brand new nib here. This is from Kakimori, and I got it from my buddy over at Amarillo Stationery, Eric. He's got a fantastic shop. He's always showing me the coolest things, well, all of us, but I see it and I'm like, I need to have it. So it was this amazing stainless steel nib here. So if you're familiar with dip pens or glass dip pens, they also come in different materials, and I thought metal looks damn awesome. So I got this along with the holder from the same brand as well. We'll be using this along with the Smoke Noir ink. And the reason that I love this is that I've been playing with this pen and the inks all week, and I'm really loving the way things are looking inside of here. So I also recreated this font that I saw. It's called Bar and Bistro. We're going to be using these for our headers this week. I love this so much. This pen is awesome because when you write with it, you have a bunch of different ways that you can use it. You can use it with a really nice fine tip. You can turn it on its edge at like a 45 or more degree angle to get thicker and thicker lines. And what's cool is that if you turn it on its side, like really lay it down like this and write with it, you can kind of paint with it in some ways. So it's very versatile in how you can use it. I've been playing with all of my inks. I always fall in love with like inks as I'm using them over and over again. So we'll be using the Smoke Noir this week. I'm also going to include one stamp this week as well. This is going to be from Eric Small Things, just my ongoing love and collections for all of her stamps. There's a really cool one here, just step by step. No real reason behind it, just I think a nice little reminder. Take things one at a time, break them down, really focus on them. And I'm looking forward to just adding that in here and then just really rapid logging the rest of the week. I also want to use a stamp because I got this brand new thing in the mail. I was looking online for ways to clean my stamps, and this came up. It's from Lawn Fundamentals, so Lawn Fawn, and it is this stamp chamois. Never used it before. I wet it before we started, but supposedly this will clean off your stamps really well, and because it's not a paper towel, it's not going to leave anything extra, and from what I hear, this works really well. So after we use our stamp, we're going to clean it with our little stamp chamois and see how well this works too. All kind of goodies happening over here today. So I've gone ahead and already marked out my spaces here. So this is the official bullet journal A5 size, blue 22. In the back of my notebook, I actually have to fix this because what someone told me was that when I put out this freebie, I made a mistake and made the 3-row and 4-row exactly the same. I've since corrected it, so it is correct now. So I need to replace this sheet in the back here, but this side is correct, and that's what I used. So the spacing I used across here is going to be 7 squares with 1 in between, and we have 1 over extra on the side. And all I did was just bump that over, so it leaves just kind of like a open space here in the middle to do that. So that's already done here. If you're an A5 size, you can do something similar if you'd like. So let's go ahead and have some fun. I'm going to start with the ink first. We're going to go ahead and use this and just get our lettering in there first and foremost because that's what's most important. And then we'll lay out the rest of our page. And what I'm really going to do with this, and the way that I'm going to really look at it, is I'll go ahead and create the fonts, and then I'll just turn my pen on the side to create the line that's going to go across here. So I don't need anything extra, no rulers or anything like that today. I'm just going to really just use this to set up these headers and get going. One of my favorite parts of also using dip pens like this is that you don't have to do any kind of extra cleaning. You really just rinse it off inside of some water and you dry it off. You're good to go. We just got to be careful now that this is wet. It's going to take a minute to dry just because I did lay it in kind of thick, but I just love the way this looks. I love the way the color looks. I love the way the ink is setting on there. It just looks so awesome. So excited to have it for this week here. I am going to use just a real quick pen just to break this down into the 1/3 here at the top. If you're not familiar with the bullet journal notebook, this is one of my favorite features that I've been using a lot more than I thought that I would. Along the lines here, you're going to see these 3 dots here and here. Those will actually break your page up into thirds. And then there's one that has the 2 dots here, and that would break your page up into halves. What I love about this is that all I have to do is just take a pen and a ruler across here. And I don't have to do any type of measurements or anything like that. It just works. The rest of my page here is going to be for rapid logging, but I am going to go ahead and break this page in half. I like having visual breaks just on my page. It's just helpful so I don't go over my lines and just thinking about what I'm writing when I'm writing it. We have the same dots down here in the margins of the bottom as well as we do on the sides here. So really nice and easy to create, as you can see. Like, this is taking me no time at all. The thing that took me the longest to do so far was the header, but I'm using awesome ink. All right, and the last thing we're gonna do is just add just a quick stamp down here just to kind of kick off that week. I love having fun inside of my bullet journal. It just makes me so happy, and adding small little details like this make it even more personal. So we're gonna have this clear stamp. If you haven't used clear stamps before, you need to have your clear stamp and an acrylic block. I can link all of these down in the descriptions for you below with all the materials that we're using today if you're interested to check any of these things out. But we're gonna go ahead and do that. Then what we're gonna do is grab some ink. We'll learn from my past mistakes. We are not going to put the ink pad on the notebook, and we're also going to make sure that our stamp doesn't fall onto the page. I've had a handful of these plan with me's where that has happened, and it is very sad. So we're gonna go ahead and place that right about in the center of the page. Give that a nice press. Set that off to the side, and then let's see how well this stamp chamois thing works. So I don't know if you wet the whole thing or not, but I just wet this little corner. So let's see if this clears it off. Is it? Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. This really works. I was unsure, but that works. All right. I'm going to go clean all my stamps now from all of this time. It's been, not all of them have cleaned off as well as I wanted, but that was super easy. That's so clean. It might be a little hard if you're not into stamping to understand that, like, what just happened there doesn't always happen. So, all right, well, I need to go set this to the side. Supposedly what I read about it is that the ink does get on here, but you can keep reusing this like 100,000 times. So we will be using this a lot in the future. That's for darn sure. All right, so we have our week pretty much set up here. I am going to just put in a handful of things. There's something very cool happening on Friday, which is my daughter Viv's birthday. So excited for her day. She's been in a few videos of mine, specifically ink one. She's a big fan of ink. She actually is the person who talked me into, didn't really talk me into it, didn't take a lot of convincing, but the glass dip pen that I use in other videos, it's technically hers, but I use it a lot. And she's a big fan of ink and pens as well. So she's been like my stationery girl, which I love. So we've got that going on, and that'll be her birthday. The rest of this week, I'm not actually sure of what we got going on. I do know that I have an appointment at 1 o'clock over here. We might be getting our fence redone. I don't think I have anything like work-wise really just yet. This whole week is kind of a little bit bare for right now, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of things that need to get done. There were a handful of carryovers from this week and things that I need to send over, but nothing too crazy just yet. So I'm not going to worry about that and keep that mostly inside of my task planner, since that's where a lot of the work stuff is happening. And then this is used just for rapid logging and then for like some personal stuff, as you can see. So excited about this. So that's going to wrap us up for today. So appreciate you coming and hanging out. Hopefully you learned some cool new things and saw some things that kind of inspire you for your own weeklies. And then next week we'll have our full kind of review overlook, we'll talk through everything. How is this double planner working for me and for work? And we'll have a little bit more of like a one-on-one chat through it as we set up another 2 weeks inside of our task planner, and then still having fun with these weeklies inside of our bullet journal. If you like these Plan With Me series, you can definitely continue to check these out. I have a whole playlist of all the past ones that will be coming up next for you. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.